Well, hey there, folks. My name is Sean, as I'm sure some of you are aware. I've been posting around a bit, lurking somewhat. This video is specifically going to be for the Reddit community, Urban Car Living, but I'm also going to upload this to YouTube, so there's that. Now, I've seen a couple of different posts asking for advice on how to get started with living in your car, or first-timers who are seeking information, things of that nature. So what I thought I would do is I thought I'd go through the things that I have experienced, the things that have helped me the best. I'm by no means an expert. I've only been doing this since February 2021. I am sure there are individuals out there who have lived in their vehicles, who've done this a heck of a lot longer than I have, and who have better advice than I do. One thing I'd like to mention, a lot of the things that I learned come from a YouTuber called Jake McCollum, so if you get the chance to check him out, I would strongly advise doing so. He's been a great inspiration. And yeah, so there's that. Now, one of the things that helped out when I was living in my car was being honest with my employers. Now, at the time, I was job hunting. I got this gig with a pizza place, and I told them, hey, so I'm living out of my car. Sometimes it's not a safe place to sleep. Do you know of any places where I might be able to go? And two of the managers and the owner were there at the time. They were like, yeah, just park right here in the parking lot, man. We got you covered. I did that for a bit until COVID shut the business down. So there's that. One thing you might consider is getting a membership with a gym, which is not only good for showers and toilets and exercise and stuff. Some of them have Wi-Fi. Some of them have, amenities that are awesome. Excuse me. I happen to have a Planet Fitness membership. I pay, I think it's something like $25 a month, and I can use a shower. Excuse me. I pay $25 a month, and I get to use their showers, their toilets, their, gym equipment, their Wi-Fi 24/7. And nobody's going to look twice at a car that's parked in a 24-hour gym. Now, that being said, a lot of these Planet Fitnesses have adopted a policy that reduces their hours. This is to reduce their exposure to COVID and things like that. Some of them are still 24 hours, but they're hit and miss, so you got to really look. And while we're on that topic, finding a place that's 24 hours and parking as far from it as you can while still being in the parking lot also helps. Most people just assume you're an employee, at least in my experience. So what you might want to consider is getting clothing that is close but not exact to the employees' uniforms, like at Best Buy, for example. If you walk into Best Buy, you see anybody with a blue shirt or a black shirt, you know they're an employee. A collared shirt specifically, I think it's called a polo is the design. You could even take this a step further and get some shirts printed with the company logo on it. Now, obviously, I don't recommend that, but a close second option to that would be getting a shirt that says security on it. Nobody's going to bother a security guard if he's sleeping in his car after a shift, especially in the morning or in the evening. Let's see, just look the part, be where you're supposed to be. If you dress up in a suit, you could probably park at a business park or something, someplace industrial. If you get one of those reflective vests, park out by a construction site. It's a tired construction worker who's been working all night. Nobody's going to bother him. But always park as far away from the building as you can. Now, this won't work everywhere. I'll be completely straight with you. This won't work everywhere. But 95% of the time, this will work. Let's see, what else was there? If you can find work, go ahead. If not, there are plenty of gig economy apps. I'll link some down in the description at some point. There's Uber, there's Postmates, there's Winolo, there's Citizen Shipper, there's Shift Smart, there's Favor if you're from Texas. There's all kinds of gig economy stuff, so you can make money doing that. You can make money while you live out of your car. Now, some people were asking about mailing addresses, and I've done two things. The first is that I founded something called a day shelter. Now, a day shelter will provide things like case manager, toilets, some of them even have showers. But every day shelter I have ever seen has a mail service, someplace where you can get something sent to that location and, hey, my name is Sean, I've got mail coming through here, can you check in the back for me? And they'll do it. The downside is a lot of these times, these places have a time limit on how long they'll hold your mail. So if it's like some random ass letter or a paycheck from your employer, they'll hang on to it for a week. If it's some government related stuff like a food stamps or a passport, they'll hang on to it for a month, but then they send it back. So you got to be careful with that. For those of you who are, in bigger cities, you may also have access to Amazon boxes. But regardless, wherever you are in the country, you can always get something mailed to the United States Postal Service. Now, what I'm talking about is, let's say you walk into a post office and say, hey, I want to mail a letter somewhere, or you can definitely send a letter out. You can go to that same post office and get a letter sent to you. And you can try this for yourself if you want. You can take yourself a standard, I think it's like 4.5 by 8 envelope, mail it from one post office into another post office across town. Catch is, you will have to show your ID. And this will not work with state-related things like identifications, driver's licenses, tax documents. Well, maybe you can get them sent, but I'm going to have to do some more research on part 2. Point is, you can't use it as a living address, but you can get mail there. It can be a mailing address. Nothing to stop you there. I once had to get calipers sent for my car, a 95 Saturn, which I'm happy to do a tour of after I've cleaned it. But I had to get a fuel pump sent to me, and at the time, I didn't have, a day shelter. So what I did was I walked in my local post office, I got a copy of their mail policy, and made sure that I followed all the rules. Now, some post offices, they won't have a mail policy. They'll just say, yeah, use this address, and then you can either have them write it down for you, or sometimes there's a business card. You just use this address, come in, present your ID, we'll check in the back, see if we've got any mail for you. And then they'll just hand it to you, like, on site. It's federal property, so they have to. The other thing I did, because I said I do 2 things, I do a post office box or a mailing box with either FedEx, with UPS, with some third-party mailing company that's sometimes available. It just depends on what's available in your area. Make sure you look around. I think I remember seeing someone ask about, what was it? Power maintenance, that's it, that's right. So there's 2 types of power inverters, and I don't have an example of them here. I'll put something in the screen or something. There's 2 types of power inverters. There's pure sine wave and there's modified sine wave. The modified sine wave will work, but that's like slowly, like imagine if you're in a boat or something and you take a cup of water and you put it inside the boat every 20 strokes, okay? Modified sine, eventually the boat's going to sink, right? Well, a modified sine wave will eventually destroy your electronics. It's a similar concept. It's the most basic way I can think to explain it right now. Pure sine wave, on the other hand, does not have this problem. So if you do get a power inverter, I would strongly recommend getting a pure sine wave inverter. Now, you can cheap out on these, that's, totally up to you if you want to do that. But I would strongly recommend getting an inverter that is capable of handling at least 2,000 watts. That's more than you're ever going to use. And there's a couple of different products out there. There's the Jackeries, there's the Evo, there's the Eco, there's all kinds of them out there. I don't have one installed in this car because I haven't installed it yet, for obvious reasons. But when I do, I plan to go with the Jackery because I've had a lot of success with the Jackery. The Eco line is good too, and you can, double up on the batteries and stuff, but they take so long to charge. It's ridiculous. And the worst part is, you can't charge the Eco line off of your engine. So when you're going down I-70 or I-65 or wherever it is you're going down, the stuff from your engine isn't charging the battery in the back. So I just prefer something I can charge while I'm driving and, you know, maybe idling or whatever the case might be. What else was there? There was finances. So you're going to come across 4 major expenses. There's your car's insurance, there's your cell phone, there's food, and there's gas. Okay, these are the things you want to keep in mind. The first 2, your car's insurance and your cell phone, I would strongly advise paying as far in advance as you physically can. And if you can get a cheaper policy once your existing one is up, go for it. I had Progressive initially. No, I'm sorry. I had Esurance initially, and I was paying something like $150 a month flat. I went with Progressive, and I went from $150 a month to $119 per month. And I suspect in 6 months' time, holy crap, February, it'll be a full year. I suspect in February, when I go shopping again, I'll be able to find an even cheaper rate, or Progressive will drop my rates a bit more because I'm a loyal customer or something. I'm not sure yet. I'll figure it out. But the point is, for $600, I was able to get the full 6 months covered for my car insurance. My cell phone is $50 a month with the unlimited data. That was $300 for the 6 months. So I paid that up. I don't have to worry about that now. Between now and then, I can definitely earn another $900, $1,200, $1,500 to make sure that my car insurance and my cell phone are completely paid up. Gas, what I like to do, and this is just my personal recommendation, you'll find, others don't agree with me, but I like to take my gas tank, I look at the quarter, the line that says I'm a quarter empty and the line that says I'm half empty, and I like to go between those two before I get gas. Another way you could do this is every 100 miles on your odometer, you fill it up to the brim. But that's my prerogative. That's what I choose to do. And I do that because I know that my car has a maximum range of, I think it's 250 miles. And that's assuming I leave the AC off, which given the summer we've had, ain't happening. Yeah, and as far as food goes, I live off of food stamps. I find that a budget of $329 per month is usually more than I need. Now, I saw somebody mention finding groups to be with or locating a group that they were hesitant to approach, and you should be. Sometimes these groups can be a little bit hostile. They don't like outsiders. They don't like anybody who jeopardizes their safety and stability. And who can blame them? Something you might want to consider is looking into a safe parking initiative program in your state. This could be the California Safe Parking Initiative. This could be the Colorado Safe Parking Initiative. This could be the Florida Safe Parking Initiative. There's no guarantee your state will have one, as these are all nonprofit organizations. But it is possible, so I'd strongly recommend looking into it. Now, for those of you who are in smaller cities, you're going to have a bit of a harder time, unless you've already got a job and maybe some friends you can count on. My advice to you would be move to a bigger city. Usually the capital or the city that's next to the capital will have some sort of a, what do they call them in other states? Temp agency. Sometimes they'll have a temp agency that pays, I think it's the minimum wage for the state. You work the 8 hours, you get your check at the end of the day. Sometimes these are called staffing agencies. Sometimes they're called temp work. It really just depends. So there's that to consider. A lot of you were talking about food storage, and I generally don't store food in my car. I usually just grab some $5 thing from the deli and be done with it. But that being said, there's all kinds of cheap foods. There's Taco Bell's $5 boxes. I know they got the nacho fries things going on now. I think Wendy's has a $5 grab bag that's, pretty good. I can't remember if McDonald's and Burger King are doing anything, but who wants to eat horse lips and ass meats anyway? So if you like the content that I'm putting out here, be sure to like, rate, subscribe, whatever the hell. No, or don't. It's up to you. I'm just trying to put the information out there. If you're new to the channel, hey, welcome. I'm an asshole. I'm a fat guy who sleeps in his car. So, yeah. That's all I've got for you guys today. So